Guys, and welcome back to a new tutorial from me. I am Artinvader, a digital artist from Berlin, and today we will create modern art like this. And yeah, I'm a little bit confused. My neighbor watching inside of my window. I don't know if you saw it. A lot of artists create now glass artwork. It's not anymore chrome material here, chrome material there. It's now glass. And in this tutorial, you will learn how to create tinted glass, gradient glass, milky glass, noisy glass. And it's a really fun project, and it's not so difficult how it looks like, but I give you the most important knowledge today about glass in Blender. So let's go, guys.
The 3D objects.
Whoa, 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 whoa! This is new. For my most loyal fans, there's of course the project file for free. A numeral code appears in my video. After the release, you have 48 hours to download the files in my Dropbox folder. The number will appear in the top left corner. And the code is splitted and you have to search it. But for my loyalist fans, it's not a problem because they always watch the whole video. So have fun rendering, guys. Alright guys, let's start with the tutorial. This is my Blender version, Blender 4.02. And first, as always, we delete the light, the cube and the camera with the X key. So, and first we will create this bottle here. And for this we need a cube. And we go here to the side under scale, and here we change the scale to following values. So in the next step we will create the rounded edges, and for this we go in the edit mode. Then we go here to the line selection and we select this line on this side and this line on the other side. And now we take the bevel tool and bevel it how far we want. And now we go here under this tag and increase the segments. And now we switch back to the object mode. And we go here to line shading, that we can see what's happening inside. Alright, in the next step we will create some cubes inside of our bottle. This is this inside, this abstract fluid something. And we also change the scale of this cube inside. Alright, I changed the scale values here. Then you switch the position, put it somewhere down. Then we duplicate it. And here we only change the Z value 0.87 and put it a little bit higher. Perfect. Now we change the view, and now we have to create a cylinder. And here we change the scale values to following values. And then we also rotate it by 90 degrees. In the x-axis, then we move it to the top. And now we have to select our main cube. This is this one. Then we go here to the modifier, and under generate we take the Boolean modifier. Now we have to take our cylinder, and now we have to make the cylinder invisible. And now it is a perfect hole in our bottle. So we go back in our view. And we go here to the shading view, we duplicate the cylinder, make it visible. And here we changed also the scale values. Scale it here a little bit down. Shade it also, shade smooth. Line view, front view. And here we also need for our main bottle the modifiers bevel. Here we choose a value of 0.01. and segments 50. And as you can see, we have now rounded edges a little bit. And we also take the solidify modifier to make the bottle thick. And here we choose under thickness 0.05. And that's it. We have created our first bottle. And then we create a new collection. So we rename it to bottle 1. And now we duplicate the whole bottle like this. The first one we can make invisible. And as you can see, you have to make our Boolean a cylinder invisible again, and we go back to the line shading. And here we also play with our values. Here I make the bottle, the main cube, a little bit smaller. The bigger cube inside I make also a little bit smaller. And this one is okay, I think. So in the next step we change the position of the cubes, and we also have to change the position of our boolean here, of course, like this. And if you see in the picture, this is this one here in the background, and here we also create a cylinder for the top. Here we change also the values, make everything a little bit smaller. This is a good value, I think. We also press here Shade Smooth. Now we go back to the line shading, and you can't see, but here are also smaller cylinders in the cylinder to get later on this reflection inside of the glass. So we copy and paste it and change here also the scale values. Okay, change the position that everything fits perfectly inside. Like this, perfect. Now we have our second bottle ready. Bring everything in the right collection that you get confused later on. And in the next step, we will create this bottle here and make everything invisible. Create a new collection, select it, and for this we need a cube. These are my values for the cube. We switch again the view to X, make the line shading. And now we all the time duplicate the cube and change the scale to something like this. These are my values that I changed. We put it a little bit up. Then we duplicate this cube again. And I change the values to this in the scale. Then we put it up. And then we duplicate it again. And here we also change the scale values to something smaller, like this. So now we have our next bottle ready. Rename the collection that you know where what is. I renamed it to cube bottle. I think this is the perfect word for it. Alright, then in the next step, create a new collection. New collection. Make the other one invisible again. And here we will create now this bottle. And I renamed it already the collection to rounded bottle, and for this we need a cube. And here we also change the scale values. These are my scale values, and then we go to the edit mode, go again here to the line selection, and we choose this edge and this edge, and we also bevel it here how far we want, like this, and here we also increase the segments. That looks good. Then we go back to the object mode, change the angle to X again of the scene. Alright, and now we go here to the modifier, and here we need again the solidify modifier. Here we choose a value from 0.32. Now you can see that the bottle is thicker, and we also search for the bevel. Here we can also change the view again, and here I take an amount of 0.06, and here we increase also the segments to 21. And now we get our beautiful rounded edges bottle. So we make this collection also invisible, and in the last step we will create our cylinder bottle. And for this we need again a collection, rename it to cylinder bottle, and then add a cylinder. Here you can again change the values. Then press with the right mouse button on it and choose Shade Smooth. Then we go back to the front view here in the axis, line shading again. And now we duplicate and duplicate and duplicate to something like this, and then duplicate it again. And this is our last object. Perfect. So now make this also not visible. Alright, and now we add a plane as our floor. Here we change the scale to 7 and 3. Now we take our ground, copy and paste it, rotate it by 90 degrees. In the next step, we choose a camera, press here at the icon, find the right position, choose the camera, go here under this tag and change the format to 1000 by 1080 pixels. Then you have your perfect render region.
The materials.
Right, and welcome back. Now we start with the cool part. I know the other part was really simple and a lot of copy and paste, but now with the material part you will learn a lot. And yeah, I also added some spheres here on the side to get more details in it and to get later on better reflections. Because you can see here the balls make reflections everywhere in the bottles, and that's the reason why I added it, to get more details and more charisma inside of the artwork. And yeah, this is my render scene, these are my bottles. I hope you find also a good position to your bottles. And yeah, let's start with the materials. First we go here to the left corner until a plus appears, then we drag and drop the window to the side. Now we change the viewport shading here to viewport shading 4. And in the other window, we change here to shader editor. And as you can see, I already added some lights, and it is really nothing special. The first light is the area light. And if you don't know where the area light is, you have to go here to add light, and here's the area light. And the area light shines from the top down on the bottles. Here under this tag you can increase and decrease the light. And the other light is a small backlight behind of the bottle to get more reflections behind it. That's it. And then we go back to the camera view when we press the icon here. And we also go to the camera and we render with cycles. And for this you have to go to render region and change here to cycles. Okay, so I would say we start with the simple things like the wall in the background. I already created the materials, and yeah, for the wall it is a material. I increased the metallic and roughness value. Then I worked here also with the gradient, and for this I used a color ramp with a white to black color. Then you have to put a gradient texture to it to get more control over it. And then you have to search for mapping and texture geometry. And it's really important to connect it with UV, that it's perfectly get textured on your 3D object. And under this text with location and rotation, you can later on change the gradient if you want. Yeah, that's it. Then I created the floor. The material looks like this. I also put the metallic value to 1 and roughness to 0.2 to get the reflections on the floor. Later on, like in our example, that the color reflections are only the metallic ground. Then you have to search here for image texture and also for mapping and UV. And as I said, you can here change the scale under mapping and whatever you want. And for the ground, I use such a simple texture like this. You can recreate it in Photoshop, or you can Google for it, like black and white cube texture. But you can find it. It's really easy to find such a texture like this on Google. And yeah, that's it. So I would say we start here with the big bottle, this one. So select this bottle outside. And for this, it's really important, if you create glass material, you have first to go here under the material window. Then you have go down and you have to put a check mark to screen space reflection and subsurface transition. And here you have to choose a value around 0.1 to get this glass texture. And with pass index you can play, I put 67. And it's really important that you also increase the transmission tag to 1 and the antistrophic to 1. And the rest is everything 0. IOR 1.4. And then we also work here with a color ramp. Here I put the gradient inside that we want. And here again, mapping and texture coordinate. Then we go to the inside part of this bottle. And it's really the best if you all the time copy and paste the material, because it's all the time the same. Here I only change the gradient color, and because of this is inside and it have to be something fluid or something different than glass, I also increase the metallic value and the roughness value a little bit, that it gets a little bit more rougher texture than clear glass. And then I thought it makes a really cool effect. Then there's also the little cube there inside. This is also a metallic roughness material, and I changed the color to red because we have also the gradient of the bottle that follows into the red. It's also a really simple material. Then we choose the cylinder here. And this is also a material that we already created. It's the outside glass material with the gradient. You can copy and paste it. And here I changed the colors to something more pinkish. And so we get this effect here. And now we can switch to the next bottle. I would say this one here. And for this you can copy and paste the same materials for the glass and change only the gradient values. Now we came here to the cup. This is this material, the same glass material with the gradient. But here's the difference, that I increase a little bit the roughness to get a milky glass. And now we go to the cylinders here inside. And all the cylinders there inside are this material. Here's also nothing special, it's all the time the same material. The gradient is changed. Then go to this bottle, grounded cube. Here is something different. This part is again the same with the gradient. But here I searched especially for glass BSDF. You can change the BSDF when you go here under material. And here you can choose a preset, and I choose glass BSDF under this tag and connected everything that we already created again here. Only change the colors and that's it. So now I would say we go here to the cube bottle. So here we have only changed the metallic value. You can see this is more glass with reflection. So that's the reason why, because I increased the metallic value and a little bit the roughness, that we get the milky glass effect. Then we go here to the second cube. The second cube is the same like our gradient glass, but I thought one color is enough. Let the purple color inside, and I increase a little bit the roughness because I did it here also before with the metallic glass milky texture. Now we go to the next cube. Here I only change the gradient again and I increase a little bit the roughness. And the last cube of the cube bottle is a material like this. Oh, what a surprise! I only let one color of the gradient and put the roughness to 0. So you can play around with the values, change all the time the values a little bit to get a really cool effect and something different. With the small differences, you make your artwork really special and unique. You don't see it with the first look, but it makes a really big difference. And in the end, the last bottle, first we start with the outside. And here I again created a glass BSDF. As I described, you can change it here. And here we go to the inside part. And the first inside is here on the top. Here I only changed the yellow color. Now we came here to the upper part. Here I only change the red color. And I thought maybe it's cool when I increase the metallic value to get more reflections here. I thought it looks more special, so I changed it. Now we came to the balls here on the side. And this is all the time the same material. Here's the transmission value and everything the same. So it's increased that we have glass material and metallic value a little bit. And then I changed all the time the colors to the balls to something like this. Yeah, now it looks really cool. Maybe you are wondering why my render scene is rendering so weird. I forgot to say, you have to go also here to the output, and we have to put a check mark under denoise, because we work with glass and glass is really noisy. To get it out, denoise, don't forget it. And in the end, I also put a HDRI map inside. For this you switch here to the world mode. And then you connect everything. You have here the background. On the background you can increase the strength to how bright you want. This is here the environment texture tag. And here you can also play with the rotation. And here's really important, here you have to search for geometry and connect it with position. Because here's everything about the light scene. It's not projecting something on the object. Here is this more project something in the environment. That's the reason why geometry and not texture coordinates. But it makes sense, I think. And here, under environment texture, I put an image of a thunder inside. I thought this project is really cool and make fun, but now when I explain you what you have to do, it's all the time copy and paste and change the color. But yeah, sometimes you don't have to do a lot. Sometimes you have only copy and paste stuff. And you can also create cool stuff. I hope you liked the tutorial, guys. Well done, Artinvaders! If you want to support me, subscribe to the channel or follow me on Instagram or TikTok. It would be so great if you leave a short message that you are here from this tutorial, so I know you are a real person that like my stuff and nobody else. There you can also tag me at Artinvader and I will repost as a thank you your artwork in my stories. And you can also suggest some artists for the next video. It would be also really interesting to see someone out of my bubble. So, by the way, you like this video? Show it with a like or a comment. Alright, see you in the next week.